You're outside at midnight, phone at 9% battery, trying to get home. You open Uber and the ride costs $34 instead of the usual $15. Your friend checks their phone for the same pickup spot and sees $18. Same time, same place, but somehow a completely different price. Ever wonder if apps are actually profiling you and charging more when they know you have no other options? Today, I'll explain how personalized pricing works like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand exactly what your phone is telling these companies and the simple tricks that stop them from overcharging you. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Back in the day, you walked into a store, looked at the tag, and paid that amount. Same price for everyone. But apps don't work that way anymore. They run something called dynamic pricing, which means the price changes based on dozens of factors they never tell you about. Airlines started doing this decades ago with ticket prices. Your seat costs different amounts depending on when you book, where you're flying, even what day it is. But modern apps aren't just looking at supply and demand. They're looking at you, your specific behavior and patterns. And yes, they're using that information to figure out the maximum amount you'll pay before walking away. Let's talk about that phone battery thing, because it sounds like a conspiracy theory, except it's completely real and documented by researchers. Uber has experimented with this exact strategy. When your battery drops below 20%, you become what they call a high-intent user. Translation? You're desperate, and they know it. You're not comparing prices or waiting for surge pricing to drop. You need a ride now before your phone dies and you're stranded. The algorithm knows it and adjusts accordingly. Imagine you're selling lemonade on your street for $1 a cup. Then you notice one kid walks by every day at 3 p.m. looking super thirsty from basketball practice. He always buys a cup no matter what. So one day, you charge him $2. He grumbles but pays it because he's dying of thirst and you're the only stand around. That's exactly what these apps do. Except instead of watching you play basketball, they're watching your battery percentage drop in real time. But it's not just your battery that matters. Your location changes everything too. Hotels have been caught showing higher prices if you're searching from an airport or near a convention center. Why? Because if your flight just got canceled and you're already at the airport, you're not browsing casually. You're in panic mode. You need a room tonight, and the algorithm knows you'll pay more. Same thing with ride-sharing apps when you're stuck. If you're in the middle of nowhere at 1 a.m., the price climbs. Because where else are you going to go? The app isn't being mean, it's being calculated. It's doing exactly what it was programmed to do, which is squeeze every possible dollar out of the moment when you're most vulnerable. Here's where it gets even weirder. Some apps track how many times you've searched for the same thing. Let's say you're looking at concert tickets online. You search once and see them at $80. You search again an hour later and they're $95 now. Search again the next day and suddenly they're $110. You start to panic because they must be selling out, except they're not selling out at all. The algorithm just learned that you really want those tickets, and every time you come back, it assumes you're getting more desperate. So it nudges the price up each time. It's like playing poker, and your phone keeps showing everyone at the table exactly what cards you're holding. You're not losing because you're unlucky. You're losing because the game is rigged and your own device is working against you. Now, is this actually illegal? Here's the frustrating answer. Usually, no, it's not against the law. It feels like it should be, doesn't it? But in most cases, it's completely legal. Companies can charge different prices to different people as long as they're not discriminating based on protected categories like race, religion, or gender. Desperate person with a dying phone is not a protected class. Tourist who just landed at the airport is not a protected class either. The law says companies can charge whatever they think you'll pay, and these algorithms are really good at figuring that out. But here's what actually matters. You're not powerless against these tactics. These algorithms are smart, but they're also predictable once you know how they work. First, never let apps know you're desperate. Close the app and wait a few minutes if you can. Prices often drop when surge pricing calms down. Second, use incognito mode or a different browser when you're comparing prices for flights or hotels. This stops websites from tracking that you've searched before. Third, charge your phone before you go out. Seriously, just charge it or bring a portable charger. The moment your battery hits 15%, you lose all your negotiating power. Here's another move most people don't know about. Compare prices on a desktop computer, not your phone. Why does this matter? Because apps know mobile users are usually on the go, which means higher urgency, which means higher prices. Desktop users are browsing from their couch with nowhere urgent to be. The algorithm treats you differently based on this alone. Also, delete your cookies regularly or search in a private window. Every time you visit a site, it drops little trackers that follow you around the internet. Those trackers tell websites you've been looking, and that information gets expensive, fast. Some apps also show different prices based on what device you're using. iPhone users sometimes see higher prices than Android users, because data shows iPhone users spend more on average. Is that fair? Absolutely not. Is it legal though? Unfortunately, yes. The algorithm doesn't care about fair, it cares about profit. It's playing a completely different game than you are. You're trying to get a decent price. It's trying to extract maximum value from every single click. Now let's talk about surge pricing for a second, because people confuse it with personalized pricing. Surge pricing is when demand goes up, like New Year's Eve, and prices spike for everyone. That's not personal, that's just supply and demand. There are more people who need rides than drivers available, so prices go up. Annoying? Yes. But at least it's the same for everyone. What we've been talking about is different. It's personalized pricing based on your data. It's the app looking at your specific data and deciding you specifically should pay more because you specifically are more desperate than the person standing right next to you. One is basic economics. The other is capitalism with a magnifying glass on your panic. Here's something else that should make you think twice. Apps are now testing emotional pricing based on behavior. They can't see your face, but they can see your behavior. If you're clicking frantically, typing fast, or opening and closing the app repeatedly, that signals stress. And stress signals willingness to pay more. Some travel sites even adjust prices based on whether you're searching during work hours or late at night. Late-night searchers are often dealing with emergencies or last-minute plans, which means less price sensitivity. It's not science fiction, it's reality. It's just data science, and it's happening every single day. So here's the bigger question. Should this be legal in the first place? Some countries are starting to push back. The EU has stricter rules about transparency. Companies have to tell you if prices are personalized. But in the United States, it's still the Wild West. Companies argue this is just basic economics. Critics say it's exploiting vulnerable people when they have the least power to say no. Both things can be true. It's smart business and ethically questionable. It's efficient and uncomfortable. It's the future. And also maybe what's wrong with the future. Here's what I want you to remember. These apps aren't outsmarting you because they're brilliant. They're outsmarting you because they have more information and you didn't know you were supposed to be playing defense. The moment you level the playing field with incognito mode, a charged phone, willingness to wait, and comparing across devices, their edge disappears. You're not dumb for paying extra before. You were just playing a game where nobody told you the rules. But now you know the rules. Now you can see how it works. And once you see it, you can't get fooled the same way twice. To recap everything, dynamic pricing isn't just supply and demand anymore. It's about you and what the app thinks you'll pay based on your battery, location, search history, and device type. It's legal because desperate isn't a protected class. You can fight back by using incognito mode, keeping your phone charged, comparing prices on desktop, and never showing urgency. These algorithms bet you won't bother to fight back. The second you do, you win. So here's my question for you. If an app knows you're desperate and charges you more because of it, is that just smart business? Or should we actually regulate it? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this affects everyone and the line keeps moving.